Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt here with my dad, Dr. Terry Marquardt, talking about his music career. And we just finished connecting his music career with what that means for law and gospel. So if you missed that segment, you can always tune in on podcasts everywhere, Facebook Live or YouTube. So if you want to receive an alert to when those YouTube segments come out, go to YouTube, search for Talk Law Radio, look for the Lady Liberty in the red, white, and blue colors, and you'll be able to subscribe and then click the little bell, and that'll send you an alert to your phone when a new episode is posted. I did get a question from a listener about parking tickets. That's a very interesting subject. It's off topic today, but thank you for the question because I'd love to talk about parking tickets sometime. That gave me a great idea. For now, Dad, let's pick up where we left off when Granddad told you, no, you can't play the drums. What happened next?
Well, we were at a music program sponsored by the public schools. I was in 5th grade, and it was for kids that were interested in enrolling in the music program of the public schools. And so I told him I wanted to play the drums. He said, you don't need music lessons to play the drums. And so we went. He said, let's go over here and let's talk. Everybody was his patient. I mean, you know, everywhere we went in town, they were my dad's patient. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, so we went over to where the music store had their instruments set up, and he was talking to his friend, and he picked up a clarinet and played some Dixieland for me. How would you? Isn't this great? Isn't this fun? Isn't this cool? And my dad said, wouldn't that be exciting to play that kind of music? And I said, no. I mean, it had no appeal to me at all.
Because Ricky Ricardo band.
Ricky Ricardo's band on I Love Lucy did not have clarinets. They had bongo drums and saxophones and screaming trumpets. And so that's what I was interested in. And so we went. The guy said, okay, well, how about this? And he picked up a saxophone, and he played a little blues, and he played a little swing music. I thought, that'd be okay. And so we decided, we came home, talked over with my mother what we had learned at the program, and saxophone would be okay. And they had a program where you could rent to own, and so the investment was a lot. You didn't have to buy this big expense just to try see if the kid's going to, stick with it. Yeah. You can try it out, and so that's what we did. And it was I got to play a brand new saxophone, and it was on a rent to own basis, and that's how I got started in the saxophone.
Okay, then in junior high, you had a recital duet. Tell us about that.
Well, when I went to junior high, they were just starting an accelerated program for accelerated students, and when they made the program, they were just the administration of the school was just learning how to program everything, and they had a glitch in that they scheduled an accelerated class at the same time as the band class. And so the accelerated kids had to choose, go be in the band or be in the accelerated program. And when they asked me, my parents and the school administrators, what I wanted to do, it was an easy choice for me because as far as I was concerned, your education was to prepare you for your future professional career. And since I was blessed to be a part of the accelerated program. That's what I needed to do. And so my mom said, well, that's a good choice, but I don't want you to lose all of your musical training that you've been in so far.
Mm-hmm.
So she enrolled me in piano lessons. And so I played in the piano. I took piano lessons, and one of my buddies that I had from elementary school, he had been taking piano lessons since he was 5, and so we had the same piano teacher, and she organized a recital. And in that recital, my buddy and I, his name's Bob Abernathy, we played a duet. Is that the duet you were referring to?
Yes, yeah. And so that also introduced your dedication to excellence in academics. So for me, just looking as an outsider on your life history, that's sort of where things started for you to see two paths.
To diverge, yes.
That music wasn't going to lead you to where you wanted to go, but you still hung on to it. In fact, you started to do more. And band camp led to some other opportunities where you learned how to dive.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Well, again, my mom, realizing that I had missed out on a year of band program because I was in the academic program, she enrolled me in piano lessons. She also talked to the band director about how can we make up this lost year, and he recommended that I go to this band camp that was held at Eastern New Mexico University, and it was a 2-week program, and we lived in the dorms. And we auditioned, and we were placed in different bands of different symphonic levels, and there was also private lessons, and so it was a 2 weeks immersion in musical training, and instead of taking private lessons, I played in the symphonic band, and I also played in the jazz band. But I didn't take private lessons. I went to the swimming pool instead every day, and the college kids that were there that worked in the swimming pool. They were on the swim team, and so this one college athlete took an interest in me because he saw me doing some diving, and I actually loved to dive, but I had no formal training in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you want me to help you with some tips? And I said, of course. And so every day I had a diving lesson from a college diver, and it was just part of my music program. So yeah, that's how that
funny.
worked out, and that's why I ended up at that band camp, is because my mom wanted me to make up that lost year that I was in the academic program and not the band program.
Okay. And then that led to your summer program at getting ready for high school band. Tell us what that was like.
Well, we had a summer band program also as a part of the high school. And so we had a concert series during the summer, and we also had marching band training,
Mm-hmm.
and so we had to do that. And I was about a year younger than most of the kids in that first year of high school, and so I didn't drive. I wasn't old enough. And my parents weren't always available to take me to all these band programs, marching band, concert band, and everything that had to be done at school. And so a lot of times I had to ride a bicycle to band practice, and
Mm-hmm.
I was really pretty embarrassed because everybody's driving cars and going out with girls in their cars, and I'm riding a bicycle
Right.
to the band program. I guess I learned to be humble that way. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And part of the reason that Grandmommy wasn't available to drive you around is she was cutting her own ground as a woman business owner.
Yeah, she was an entrepreneur. She left the farm in Kansas when she was 17. She lied on her application for civil service, said she was 18, went to Washington, D.C., worked in the Justice Department there. And so her career started there in Washington, D.C. as a civil service employee. She retired from civil service many years later with a full retirement. But she also she went into a dress shop business as an entrepreneur, as an owner. And so, yes, you're exactly right.
Which wasn't normal at the time.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
So that left you to have to ride your bike or get a ride with Bob on his motorcycle.
Yep, that's right. My dad didn't want me to have a motorcycle. He said they were too dangerous. But whenever I needed to go anywhere, he said, "Get your friend on to give you a ride on his motorcycle." So I don't know. Maybe he thought the back seat was more safe on a motorcycle than driving it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so we would go to band practice and band concerts, and I would be on the back seat holding his French horn and my saxophone and balancing like this, and we're going around corners. I can't even hold on to him to stay on the motorcycle and just kind of lean with it as we go. Pretty tenuous situation, but we learned how to handle it.
That's so funny. Okay, also during high school, that's when you had to compete for your chair to be first chair.
Right. When we went into high school, the first year of high school, the band director had auditions, had to have a place where to place you. And at the beginning of every year, we did this. And of course, as you know, as a musician yourself, you can challenge a chair test anytime you want. Mm-hmm. But there has to be an establishment of a position to start with. And so the whole band, had to audition. And it was my first year in high school. And I remember going in the bathroom and just practicing the heck out of a piece that I think that I felt that the band director was going to use as the audition piece. And I guessed right. And so when the results were posted, it ended up that I had beat out the drum major for the high school band. I beat out the former first chair upperclassman, and I was first chair. I had beat out everybody. And my friend, Bob Abernathy, he played French horn in the band. He came running up to me and he said, "Did you see the posting? Congratulations." And I said, "What? What happened?" And he said, "Well, you made first chair." And so that was an exciting time.
I bet.
Yeah, and I think Bob was more excited than I was, but it was an exciting time.
Yeah. Okay. Also, during high school, you were in the jazz band.
Yeah, I loved the jazz band. If I could have just played in jazz band, I would have forgotten all the rest of the stuff. I had to play in all the other bands, the symphonic band and the marching band, mm-hmm. so that I could play in the jazz band. And most band directors of public schools, the jazz band's not as important to mm-hmm. them, but to me, it was the major importance.
Okay, we've got to take another break. When we come back, we'll continue talking to my dad, Dr. Terry Marquardt. Stay tuned.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.